Having sex with another woman in a threesome with her husband is not the issue. But when you claim the moral high ground and then you attack the moral integrity of others, the blatant hypocrisy of Mrs. Ziegler and how it reflects on the credibility of this board is a significant concern.
Yeah, I'm afraid of America.
In Monday's Iowa caucuses, Ron DeSantis beat out Nikki Haley for second place. Well, that ought to put whatever this is on his face.
Greetings from Florida.
Rudolph Lusek is talking about this woman, Bridget Ziegler.
Know who their candidates are for school board, know where they stand, and hold them accountable.
She's a co-founder of the conservative group Moms for Liberty, and on Tuesday was asked to voluntarily resign from the Sarasota County School Board.
If you were in support of everyone having, these illicit type of relationships, then that wouldn't matter.
Ziegler, a close ally of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, helped author Florida's parental rights and education law, dubbed by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. It removed discussion of sexual orientation and identity from public schools' curriculum.
I want to talk about Moms for Liberty. Or perhaps I should say, a bunch of white cunts who didn't like getting in trouble. Because it's illegal to do cunt shit.
Who might want to run for school board. Laid out in front, books some of their members have challenged.
It's a boy wearing a tutu, and it sounds kind of like an innocent book. And what we're seeing in schools is the conversations surrounding this on gender identity at really young ages, and it's really confusing, and children don't have the mental capacity to handle that.
You're concerned less about the particular book and more about the conversation you're worried is happening?
Sometimes, yes. Not all the time, but most of the time.
Amber Schrader is the co-founder of the Ozaukee County chapter of Moms for Liberty, a far-right, rapidly growing group that in the last 2 years morphed from challenging mask mandates and remote learning during the COVID pandemic to a major player in Republican politics, endorsing hundreds of school board candidates.
Then who gets to decide what all kids get to read? The Washington Post took a look at about 1,000+ book challenges that were filed, and they found that they were filed nationwide by just 11 people. Each of these people brought 10 or more challenges against books in their school district. Together, these serial filers constituted 6% of all book challengers, but they were responsible for 60% of filings. In Florida, Tampa Bay Times, they found that of roughly 1,100 complaints recorded in Florida since July 2022, we're talking about more than 700 just from two counties. Escambia in the Western Panhandle and Clay County. Together, those are less than 3% of the public school enrollment, 600 of those complaints, 2 people. Why should 13 people get to decide what books tens of thousands of children get to read?
Well, I'm thinking it's probably because those 13 people saw what some of the content was in the books. I
don't even blame them. I blame us for allowing it. It reminds me of those bum fight videos where they made 2 homeless guys fight for money. And now we look back on it and we're like, how did we as a society let that happen?
If we have activist teachers who are breaking the law, they need to be handled, and they should not be in a classroom teaching our children.
On the debate stage last night, Republican candidates echoing the group's message.
Biological boys don't belong in the locker rooms of any of our girls.
The only way we change education in this nation is to break the backs of the teachers' unions.
Moms for Liberty says their focus is on securing more of what they call, quote, parental rights. But critics say they also use misinformation to push fears that kids are being indoctrinated to hate America and steered towards topics like transgender identities. A document on the Wisconsin State Chapter website makes unsubstantiated claims such as kids are being taught to pit racial groups against each other. Goal, to teach kids to hate America so they will destroy it. You think that's what's going on in public schools?
I think some public schools, that's absolutely going on.
In Florida, Moms for Liberty worked with Governor Ron DeSantis to pass what critics call the Don't Say Gay bill that bans any discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity until the 8th grade. But that was Florida. This is purple Wisconsin with a Democratic governor. Is that the kind of thing that you'd support?
Well, I think, again, age appropriateness. It's not my opinion. Like, we are a Christian family. It's God's opinion, or God's law, I should say, not opinion.
From all of us here Christian nationalists, we'd just like to give a big shout out to Moms for Liberty for all their work in Florida. They're doing amazing work down there. They've cut the number of children actually reading books nearly in half. And that's the kind of work that only could get done in the grassroots. You know, someone actually tried to say that they did something bad because they got the Diary of Anne Frank banned. Tell you what, man, if that book is so good, why wasn't there a sequel? Girl just like stopped writing? Huh. Goddamn liberal woke bullshit.
Hey, white supremacists, enough. Enough. The white supremacy, bad enough. Stop taking other and making it yours too.
Danelle Reederer is a former teacher who took her kids out of school and is now homeschooling. Did you see something or have you read something about how U.S. history is being taught around the country that concerned you?
Well, I think it's, again, the different perspectives. I think it's important we know the different perspectives, but at the same time, like I said, I'm white. And, you know, just because I'm white doesn't mean that we were slaveholders. In the way some of the newer curriculum had been worded, had been kind of more of those leading topics to kind of make it more guilt-ridden.
Moms for Liberty lost in many of the high-profile school board races around Wisconsin. But Amber says here in the state, they are just getting started.
We only want what's best for kids, and we are working hard to protect our freedoms, to protect liberty, and to make sure that children are getting the best education possible.
After Trump was photographed with some strange red marks on his hand, some dermatologists speculated it could be something called hand herpes. What the hell is hand herpes? Said Tim Scott.
Now, of course, they're all bigots and, you know, they're all bitches. This is just right-wing MAGA collecting up email addresses and a shitload of money, I might add.
DeSantis also appointed her to the board that manages Disney's special taxing district.
The resolution recommends that Bridget Ziegler immediately take all steps necessary to voluntarily resign.
Now, she's under intense criticism for a sex scandal involving her husband, Christian Ziegler, the chair of the Florida Republican Party, and a woman accusing him of rape. According to an affidavit, the woman told police that there was a planned sexual encounter with both Christian and Bridget Ziegler in October. Bridget canceled, leading the other woman to also cancel, but Christian still showed up at the woman's home.
The list of books that have been removed from shelves as a result of these activities. Let me just read you a couple of them. Anne Frank's A Diary of a Young Girl. Mouse, which is a book about the Holocaust, a graphic novel. Beloved, Martin Luther King Jr. and the March on Washington. Ruby Bridges Goes to School. Slaughterhouse-Five, The Color Purple, Forever by Judy Blume. I could go on. These are books that are not only popular, in some cases are classics. Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye.
Master race, indeed.
Bridget, who hasn't been accused of criminal wrongdoing, admitted the couple had a previous three-way sexual encounter with the woman, quote, over a year ago, and that it only happened one time.
Ms. Ziegler, you have tarnished the soul of the school board here with hypocrisy and duplicity.
Ziegler sat stoically through the 3 hours of public comment at a school board meeting Tuesday night and gave no indication of stepping down from the school board as her husband is being investigated.
As people may know, I serve on another public board, and this issue did not come up, and we were able to forge ahead with the business of the board.
Resign.
And so far, the governor has not called on her to step aside. As for Christian Ziegler, the executive committee of the Florida Republican Party is going to meet this weekend, and they're going to decide whether to suspend Christian Ziegler.
All the while making sure we get every book banned in Florida that we possibly can, because God forbid a kid actually reads something.
When they're seeing what their children have access to, when they go to speak to the superintendent or the principal, they have accurate information, right? They're
and where are they getting their
advocates.
information from?
You can just go online to a catalog in your children's library,
Correct.
and you can see what
without
books are
reading
available.
the books. What is book? What is? One moment. What is booklooks.com?
I'm aware of a website called booklooks.com where parents can go and see some of the books that other parents are concerned about.
Booklooks.com has been used in Florida extensively in counties like, I used to live in Broward County. I lived there for 14 years.
Okay.
In counties like Broward, counties like Clay, counties like Escambia, Moms for Liberty activists are using booklooks.com. And it's essentially a Cliff Notes for books.
Yeah.
So you go through without even having to read the book.
Bigotry, race baiting, scum suckery, and hating of anyone who's not like you comes with the territory.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who endorsed Donald Trump, but remember, most Trump supporters only count him as 3/5 of an endorsement. Oh, boy.
So where is this?
I got this book from Jay. And you said that your daughter checked this out?
No. No. Oh no, I wouldn't be here. I'd be over there behind bars if she checked it out.
We found more books that we considered pornographic. The reason we're here now is because we have another book that was found in J, which is of course your jurisdiction, and they don't have a police department. So that's why we're here. And we have the evidence.
That is trying to stop what's happening into our schools, especially with CRT. Moms for Liberty. Moms for Liberty is doing that.
The Christian nationalist bona fides of Moms for Liberty is well known. And we here in the background will not stand for anybody saying anything bad about them. I don't give a damn if they are shoplifters. I don't give a damn if they're hypocrites about getting freaky in the sack. Moms for Liberty can do what they want. Down in Florida, they've reduced the number of children actually reading by almost half. Moms for Liberty. White power. National socialism and white Christian nationalism, they call it now, comes with the territory. That's who these bitches were. But I did not know that they were also child molesters.
Nikki and I will always be close friends, but Nikki, or as Mr. Trump told me to call her, Nimrata Hussein Haley, she may not even be from South Carolina, or even America.
What happens is you can do keyword searches and find certain keywords.
Like rape?
You can find sure.
Or anal rape or dildo.
You can find all sorts
those types
of keywords.
Of words. But like
wait, hold on, wait. Let me finish my question. Then
great,
you can answer.
sure.
I'm going to give you time to answer, but I got to ask you first.
No, yeah, I got the question.
And so what you find is the keywords that you find, the N-word, anything, words like you just used, then you'll get out of context passages from the book. And then based on that, Moms for Liberty members are going to places like Broward County School Board meetings, reading out of context passages from these books, and then demanding that the school board remove them.
So what's
that is the way?
Yeah.
Senator, that's not true. Those are just racist dog whistles.
Michael, that is not a racist dog whistle. This is.
Oh shit! Wait, this just in. Turns out one of the founders has been arrested for multiple counts of shoplifting. Go fig. She's just another criminal. Man, seems like it's going around a lot today in MAGA. Or maybe this is just the deep state.
While women are sitting silently for the rest of the car ride after you tell them that.
They have a right for their child to just have access to this book. Why is it your right to say they can't?
So, again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And
Joy,
each parent, each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So I want you to answer. I'm going to ask you one more time.
Right.
What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story? Why don't they have the right? Why don't they have the right as a parent to say, my child can have access to this book?
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator. That means that they have either been raped by a family member, they've experienced
and your proof of that is what?
You just said that
What's
if a child feels seen by this story.
You're now making assumptions about it.
No, but if a child has been raped, we should do a lot better than put a book on a library
Now you're literally
shelf.
creating a story behind a child that you don't know.
I can't wait to see the film. Moms for Liberty, yo. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberty. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy.
In an interview on Fox News, presidential candidate Nikki Haley said that America has, quote, never been a racist country. Because if Americans were so racist, why did they have sex with their slaves?
Every parent has a fundamental right
so
to direct the upbringing of their
let's
children.
make
and I
sure
would
that
not
we can
stand
end
in
on
judgment,
let us end on a point of agreement.
about a parent's
If a
education
parent,
level, their
moment,
sexual orientation,
if a parent,
their race, their
if a
religion.
parent,
That is not what
Miss
America is
Justice,
about.
I'm going to answer.
Mrs.
I'm going to
Justice.
ask my question,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Justice, Mrs. Justice. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
If a parent believes that their child should be able to read Ruby Bridges,
we believe that that children should be able to read.
Then
Ruby
how
Bridges.
can
She's the
Moms
American
for Liberty
hero.
insist that the school board take that book away and then say that a parent who wants the child to be able to read it must purchase it? That's essentially putting a tax on parents who want their children to read the book. Your kids get to have books for free that you agree with, but children who want to read, or parents who want their children to read books you don't like, have to purchase it. That doesn't sound
Joy,
fair.
did you know that
Never what? Yeah, I want it louder though. Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
I am today suspending my campaign.
Gonna be a meeting tonight. You know where? Same place as always. Only bring true patriots. Trump Americans. We're gonna have a fire as we always do. Location unknown. Always a nice family gathering. Bring your family. Potluck, as always. Whoever brought the beets last time, don't bring any more damn beets. One of these days, we're gonna come out of the shadows, and real Americans are gonna get to do what real Americans do. Fight for liberty. We all gotta get out there, work really hard for this election. Times are hard. Trump's gonna need us.
And this was a nice story over the holidays. Nearly 20 drivers on the Staten Island Expressway worked together to save a Chihuahua named Bean that had run onto the road. And then the Staten Islanders banded together again to send Bean back to where he came from.
Next up, as former frontrunner Ron DeSantis ends his campaign to be president before the New Hampshire primary and endorses Donald Trump, we ask, what's the most expensive and embarrassing mistake that you've ever made? And how much better do you feel about it now?